How do you convince an employer that says they want somebody in person for the job to let you do it remotely? This is $1 million question right now. And I'm going to unlock the secret for you on how you can make this happen for yourself. But it is more than a 30-second video, folks. If you don't have time to listen, please bookmark it and come back because I have to break down these steps for you. Now, the first thing that I want to say is that the best defense is a good offense. And what I mean by that is the more information that we can gather about this employer's situation and why they're so adamant that they want people in person, the better off we're going to be. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in a second. The second thing I want to mention is please don't game the system or think you can be tricky by going through the entire hiring process and at the end when they make you an offer, suddenly demanding that it has to be remote. This will not work out well for you. Not only will the offer be rescinded and you will never be hired by that company ever again, but news can travel of that. So you don't want to play that game of manipulation, all right? What we're going to do is have you work really hard to get the first job interview, right? The very first job interview. And that's normally going to be with a recruiter or somebody who's kind of screening you out to see if you can move forward. Now, we're not going to bring it up right away. We're going to answer their questions because eventually they are going to say to you, since it's in the job posting, they're going to say to you, hey, you're good with it being on site, right? This is an in-person position. To which you're going to use the technique called ask, don't tell, right? So you're going to ask them a question about this. So you might say something like, I saw that. Can you tell me why the company is so against this being a remote position, right? So you're going to gather some data, okay? But we're not going to stop there. Based on the answer they give you, the second question is going to be, interesting. So can you tell me what it would take for the company to ever consider making this a remote position? Again, we're gathering data, all right? Now, you might even come up with a third question. I wouldn't do more than 3. But what we're doing here is being curious. We're not judging. We're not saying no, but we're being curious about it. This is giving you information to help understand, and it's allowing them to explain. Because you know what? They don't want to have to feel attacked about their decision to want somebody in person. This is what they want in the moment. So you got to allow that. So this is why we ask a few questions. Okay, clarify. Then once you've done that, you're going to say, that really helps me because I have to be honest. At this time, I would prefer an in-person position. But here's the thing, I am in love with this job and your company. When I saw it, I knew that I'm really interested. I believe I could crush this job, and you're gonna give all your reasons why you're a fan. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check my earlier TikToks on connection stories. Your connection story needs to be on point here. You're gonna say them, you're gonna get them really excited about it. And you say, that's why this is so hard for me. I just had to take the first interview to see if the company would ever, at some point in time, explore this being remote, because I know I could crush this job for you. But, at this point in time, I just don't think I can make it work on site. See what's happening here? You gave yourself, 1, you gave them a chance to explain. 2, you gave yourself a chance to talk about why you're super passionate about the job. And what you're going to say is, I totally understand I can't move forward in the process at this time, but would you keep me in mind if your company would ever consider this job remote? I would jump on the chance. What you're doing there is my second technique, which is called planting the seed. See, you didn't discount them. You didn't try to sell them. You were very, very accommodating in the way you approach this, very polite. And so what happens now is they go move on to other candidates, but in the back of their mind, they're like, oh, that candidate was really good. That candidate had a good connection story. They were good. And they kind of can't get you out of their head, right? So what can happen oftentimes is they'll come back to you and say, all right, I think we might be able to make it remote. Or if they can't, then it's not a fit for you. But what you didn't do is burn a bridge, because you never know, my friend. You might want to work there someday. You might change your mind and be willing to go in person. So we don't want to cut it all off in the way that we handle this. But by doing that in that first interview, the ask, don't tell technique, right, and the plant the seed, this is how we can start to get them to rethink, do I really want to sacrifice getting the best candidate just to have somebody in person? Or maybe should I allow this job to be remote to get that awesome talent that I interviewed? And this is how it works. I hope that made sense to you, and I hope you give it a try. And by the way, thank you for such an awesome question. Folks, I'm on this app every single day trying to help you. Will you help me back? It's free. It's totally free. Will you like and more importantly follow me here, because that's how I can get this information in front of more people on this app, which right now, given the job market, there's a lot of people that need this kind of advice. And speaking of advice, I have an incredible amount of free job search resources linked in my bio. All of my best stuff linked in the bio to help you, and you can get instant access to it just by popping your email address in so I know where to send it, okay? All right, you've got this, my friends. Keep the questions coming. Good luck. Go get them.